Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Chevy Boy back on the channel, and we are back once again on Demolition Derby 3. So I know it's been like a week and a half since my last video. My bad. Been working a lot, been kind of tired, and just didn't feel like making videos. Um, I know that's kind of a death sentence around here in terms of, oh, if you don't if you don't upload, frequently enough, people just don't watch or whatever. But, yeah. Um, But yeah, no, without further ado, let's get into this. So, last car we built was the Kazan Speedster. This time, it's going to be the Tearonado, which is based on, I believe, the 1967 Oldsmobile Toronado. You're probably wondering, what is so special about this thing? Well, first of all, the game put a V10 under the hood. It's supposed to be a V8, but if you look at the little diagram, it's front wheel drive. It is GM's first ever, I say first ever, technically first ever V8 front wheel drive car. I mean, they made front wheel drive cars in the past. This thing is different. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep this color or not. I'm kind of thinking of going with like a blue. And then like maybe white stripes or something. Let's see. That actually doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look bad either, honestly. I kind of like that. And of course you got the pop-up headlights, which kind of looks a little derpy if I might say so. I really do like this car. This thing's huge. It's awesome. Like this is one of the cars that I wanted in the game. So give me 1 second. All right, guys. So after doing a little bit of research to try to explain this, I'm gonna put a picture in your head. Okay. So think of the engine like this, right? The engine is you're staring at the front of the car, okay? The engine now and the transmission, the differential for this car is off towards the driver's side wheel, okay? There is a gear, I believe, or no, sorry, and the transmission is basically driven through a chain. So, okay, it's hard to explain, right? But basically, long story short, the back of the transmission is perpendicular to the back of the engine, like a front-wheel drive car. The transmission is connected to the diff, a normal front-wheel drive car, mind you, with the engine mounted longitudinally, but it's operated through a chain drive system where the rotation from one side is so the back of the engine is brought to the differential, still up front, mind you, by a chain drive system. And I know I'm not explaining it right. Go look at cross sections, like, of the actual car, and it's amazing. I'm surprised that companies now didn't try that. And it's weird because they put a 425 cubic inch V8 in this thing. And I'm just like, how in the hell did you fit what amounts to a big block in a front wheel drive configuration where it's still longitudinal, where it's still, front to back, not side to side? Because actually all front wheel drive cars today are side to side in terms of the engine layout, which is insane. Sorry, my car brain geeking out for a minute. But let's take this thing for a race. I want to run this thing in a race. I want to do the racing first, honestly. This car is cool. I really, really like this car. And so it's backed by a front-wheel drive configured GM Turbo Hydromatic 400 transmission called the TH 425. and it's crazy. So it's a 3-speed automatic with no overdrive, right? So it's just a straight 3-speed. But I guess despite being like 4,500 pounds or whatever, so actually heavier than a Hellcat, because it was based on the E-body platform with the second-gen Buick Rivieras to fight the Ford T-Birds. They wanted to put it on the A-body platform with like the Olds 442 and the Chevy Chevelle and such. But GM said no, because of cost cutting. But, I mean, I don't think it's a bad deal, because this car is great as it is. Like, I mean, yeah, I genuinely don't like front-wheel drive cars, but this thing is cool. I really, really like this car. Like, say what you will about front-wheel drive cars, this is not your typical, grandma front-wheel drive. This is something that the world never saw again after this. Like, it's just, it baffles me how they were able to get this thing from a concept car, essentially, that was never supposed to see production, to a car that would not only see production, but it would run for like 30 years or something. And actually, I guess, according to a lot of like automotive journalists for like Car and Driver and so forth, they said that this car actually, believe it or not, rode better than a lot of rear-wheel drive cars. It used torsion bars, which were used on a lot of Mopars back in the day. GM hadn't really used them. They were more about leaf springs and coil springs and stuff. But it was also like a partial subframe car, which is kind of weird to think about. Ah, shite. My poor driving on that instance. I mean, I'm willing to bet the front bumper's not gone, right? But, like, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that GM built a front-wheel drive car that was originally on a rear-wheel drive, full-size car platform. Like, the Riviera was front-engine, rear-wheel drive. This thing is front-engine, front-wheel drive. And to keep costs down, they just kind of rednecked the hell out of a front differential and out of, a Turbo 400. I mean, this car handles pretty daggone well. Like, even that sideways throw. Sam and his Colonial Holiday can't touch this. And actually, I know my car would be faster if I drove it properly. I didn't, but it would be a heck of a lot faster if I drove it properly. Like, this thing, I don't understand why people are like, oh, that, like, nobody talks about this car. What is the deal? Like, I mean, look at that. Stability control was even off. And this car was good. I'm actually tempted to run it against cars, like the DSX, for crying out loud. Teeny-eeny, little bitty hatchback versus giant Detroit land yacht, right? So, I mean, hey, I'm down. If you guys want to see it, I'll do it, right? But yeah, I really, really like this car. Like, there's just something about this thing. Like, I saw this car and I was just like, no, dude, we have to have this car in the game, because this car is super cool. I mean, the wing looks a little goofy, That one, no. No. Now they just look silly. Now they just look silly. This one looks okay. But no, and like, I don't know what it is, but this car is just awesome. I mean, the slotted wheels even, or not even slotted, I mean, technically they're slotted. They just look good. They look really good, honestly. If you put them in white, they look better. I don't even know what to say, you guys. This car is cool. I like this car. Um, the sand dunes. Oh God, I don't know how well this thing is gonna do in this, but well, you can definitely try. Because normally front wheel drive doesn't do so well in the dirt. Are you serious? I'm this giant ass American land yacht that is going to murder everything here. Like, I'm surprised Amy's Mini isn't dead. Like, if I could actually get traction, you know what? I might just do this. So basically, like, you know, giant American land yacht versus like a three-way between a Japanese, front drive economy car being being a DSX versus like the Mini or something, and just running these. Like, I mean, I actually kind of want to do that now. Like, this thing is just so heavy duty, it's insane. I have a funny feeling this giant American land yacht is going to be perfectly fine. The only problem is if it gets high-centered and the front wheels are not on the ground, it's not good. That and the... Oh my gosh. Sorry about your luck there, Garth. This thing is a tank. David has been destroyed. It wasn't me that did it, but you know. At least I'm getting hit in the armor. But no, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about the car? I genuinely really like it. Granted, that's part of the reason why I picked it, but, like, I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I'm pretty sure you found a picture of this car, and at first I had no idea what it was. I had to go look it up. I was just like, what the heck is this thing? And I found it, and I was just like, dude, this car is cool. Why is it not in DD3? And I begged and pleaded for this car to be in the game for at least 5-6 months. Like, it got that bad. Well, my one front wheel is gone, so I'm on my half-wheel drive now. Great. Or one-wheel drive, I should say. Half-wheel drive? No, I'm only one-wheel drive. The engine's, like, shoved all the way through the firewall. Or not even the firewall, just all the way through the grill. Like, the grill support is all just, like, destroyed. I mean, you wouldn't think that a car this big, I think it was like 7.5 seconds, 0 to 60, despite the fact that this car is, 4,500 pounds. My God, man. Mel just played chicken with me. I think the AI in this are getting smarter. And he was juking me out for a little bit. Just 7 minutes of just pure death. It started with a Ford and ended with a Mini. Like, I don't know how much more I can say. The car is great when it comes to handling. It's great in terms of, durability, obviously. The acceleration is pretty doggone good. Now to just drive it around. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what you want me to say about this car, except for the fact that it's just kind of a car that doesn't go appreciated enough in games. Like, I don't think I've ever seen this car in another game. Granted, I don't play too many games that would probably feature this car, but, like, not even Forza, I don't think, has this car. Not Forza, not Gran Turismo, none of those games, as far as I'm aware, have this car. Which is kind of a shame, because they pride themselves on, you know, being a car collector's game. And yet they don't have this monstrosity. The Poppin'. I mean, that turn-in is pretty good for a car this big. It's got a pretty damn long wheelbase, you know. It's got a really long wheelbase, and yet it's able to turn pretty good. The only problem with this car is going to be, depending on which wheels it loses first, is probably going to be the drive wheels, because the front wheels are always usually the first ones to go. Why are the frames dropping all of a sudden? Took out a mailbox. Oof. Well, everything is basically shattered on this car now. Oh, you can see the blower sticking, or the supercharger sticking out. That's funny. I'm gonna take a picture. I mean, I'll probably just do like a photo shoot for this car. After I do this video. Like, I kind of wish Need for Speed would take a look at this kind of car, because this thing is really cool. Like, this car is just really underappreciated, in my opinion. Like, everybody's probably gonna go, oh, you're such a boomer, whatever, like, you like old cars. So? I mean, this car is cooler than any freaking Honda or Toyota piece of junk, so. Just because it's a V8 car that's front-wheel drive, but it didn't change it from the original rear-wheel drive platform in terms of the layout of the engine. Like, that's cool. I mean, it kind of takes no skill to turn an engine sideways in an engine bay and make it work front-wheel drive. This, you have to. Ah, shoot. Well, I screwed that up, didn't I? I was so close, too. So close. Did I mention the turn-in is great? And you're going, yeah, to let torque steer. And your point? Oh, come on, dude. Last attempt here. Because I know this video is probably going on for a long time. Okay, wasn't expecting that cop. And no, it has not been going for a very long time. It is less than half an hour. Which I did not expect, honestly. I expected it to do way longer in terms of runtime. Come on. Yeah, buddy. Alright. 100 miles an hour. That's not too bad for this old car. Detroit's biggest and coolest front-wheel drive. Oh my gosh. This thing is just really cool. Contrast and brightness. Oh. Oh man, I'm still trying to figure out like the whole thing with this. The bloom. I forget what that does. Or does it just make everything glow? Yeah, it makes everything glow. That's dumb. Okay. I mean, I don't know, man. I really, really like this car. I think it's pretty cool. But, you know, what do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? If you guys are brand new, let me know. And, yeah. Anywho, so, I mean, I guess for those of you that did like it, let me know what you thought. If you didn't, let me know your opinions on the car. Again, maybe this is me just losing my mind, but, like, I think it's a cool car. Like, I really like it, and I thought it was a cool choice for them to put this car in the game. So, yeah. But anyways, uh, I don't even know how to end this, you guys. My brain is just, like, dying. I haven't done a video in, like, a week and a half, but, if you guys did enjoy this, let me know, and I'll catch you on the road. This is Chevy Boy signing out. Peace, y'all.